Tuesday-ter from January 17th, 2023. Tuesday was the beginning of the work week because of a holiday. A man yawns and puts his pan on the stovetop. The radiator ticks as the metal heats, though outside is much warmer than one expects. Yesterday it snowed. Today the weather nears 50 degrees. This is New England weather. The schedule says bus 6 will arrive on Franklin Street at 10 o'clock. Outside it is warm. Several pedestrians are walking on the sidewalk where there are rock salt stains. A woman and man walk at distant points of the park, looking down at the same time to check for ice, just in case. A man from Africa walks onto the curb in front of the bus shack, groans, "Bus 6 is coming." Another man says, "It's nice out." A woman in a tan jacket with sunglasses that look like a bug's eyes is standing by the trash receptacle, staring down the road to where the buses will first appear. The blue WRTA bus 19 arrives first. The display in lights reads Apricot Street, then Goddard Drive. No one from this bus stop gets on that bus. A professor waits and listens, curious to know if the man is speaking Afrikaans. A delivery boy wearing a red jacket walks toward the open window of a car parked at the bus stop where it shouldn't be and says, "What's up, boss?" The motley group gets on the bus. It rides over Chandler Street's pavement. The school children are already in school. At Worcester State University, students are beginning their first spring semester classes at different times. The intervals are part of the freedom and difference between higher education and high school. For some, there is too much freedom. It is not the freedom like here, like me and you, who can be creative with all the language and say anything so long as we keep on working on saying and hearing what is best for the world of liberty. No. The college students don't know when to study or wake up, what jobs they'll have, when not to do drugs, but this is part of the almighty blender of the higher education. They will drink their own suffering and be mental giants, not needing to fight or scream, putting all the human interactions into templates, working on the mind of God, or what they are angry about that has replaced God. It's nice out. There is a child with braids and another girl who are trying to raise an American flag on a flagpole in front of the middle school. A secretary printed out 43 copies of a syllabus, then stapled the pages and said, "At the end of the year, I turn 65. I've got to retire right away. Too many employees here retire, then kick the bucket, die right away. I want to enjoy it for a while." She has a right. A bus driver for WRTA Route 3 waits outside Worcester State's parking lot. He drives fast so he got there even quicker than the other drivers who often arrive and wait less than a minute. He looks at his watch. A professor who ended class early gallops across the parking lot, celebrating something alone, and he makes it to the bus. There are 4 people on the bus. The bus driver then picks up students from Doherty High School. There are then 11 people on the bus. The oldest person on the bus tries not to think one thing negative or even judgmental, as they are the most responsible for being morally perfect. A big child comes near the older man, and the older man ignores his instinct to defend himself, as they are now evolved, and the big child looks gentle, just unsure of what to do with his big body. A young father leads his family onto the bus, makes sure it's known his little daughter is on the bus. Then he leaves his daughter to sit with her mother, goes to the back of the bus, opens the window, and begins to sing whatever song he hears in his headphones out the window. A man gets off the bus in front of City Hall. He had a hankering for Brazilian chicken bacon, so he must venture to the Big Boy Market on Chandler Street, but he does not walk all the way down Main Street after physically reasoning with a fellow that he go one way and the fellow keeps straight, and not because they were at odds, but because they were on the same page trying to expand that good grace. But when the man with the hankering passes the cathedral, he sees a young lady with gleaming curly blonde hair strung out on drugs and crying like a young girl would cry, crying like her life was a toy she lost. The man stands paternally, and he is thinking to her, "It's your emotion. Don't be so overcome. It will be okay. You are still young. You are still beautiful. You will be okay. Don't hang out with pimps." The blonde lady goes on crying down the hill. The sun is lighting the city of Worcester. Cars drive around. The brownstone apartment next to the liquor store parking lot is old-timey and seduces photographers, reads St. Ives in the mold above the front entrance. A butcher inside the Brazilian market has put out a plastic tip cup. Green dollar bills are bent inside the cup, so it's clear now that he can accept tips, and he does receive tips. Big Boy Market has warm boxed mango juice on the shelf by the door. The same boxed mango juice is cool in the western wing of the shop inside a refrigerator. It is Goya. The brand is only connected to the Spanish painter Francisco Goya y Lucientes by the shopper who cares for art history. The store has lots of foreign chocolate. Chocolate does not have yet an adequate historical catalog that is popular enough for many people to refer to. Later, an enormous street man is wearing a Santa hat. He stands symbolically and comically, though real flesh and blood and darkness, on the corner of Federal and Main, in front of the Muse wine bar. The professor sees this urban image from his window and spins around, having accidentally locked his cat in the closet for that afternoon. In the university, a young person posited that Alienware computers are like Supreme clothing because the brand is recognizable, but the quality is nothing superior to other brands. The woman who is crying stops crying, feels better, and gets healthy. Years later, she stars on a streaming TV show on which she is paid to tell off the world that made her cry, a powerful child of a woman, after consciously thinking, again and again, after pimping and pain, I can do it, I can do it, I can live this dream.